The road to heaven is a long one, and rough the road, the way unknown. But my companion is a strong one, I need not walk this way alone.
Today we would just kind of informally speak about one or two of our favorite techniques. So why don't you go first, Timothy? What?
To read something over and over again so your mind can get a grasp of it. Because, and the reason I think that is because the Course is talking about this complete reversal of our thought system.
Mm-hmm.
And that when we begin the Course, we're really not aware of all the ramifications of what that means. By
Yeah.
definition of how much of a change it's saying that we can have in our lives,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so it's easy to miss how much is in there,
Mhm.
right? So anyways, one of my favorite techniques is to read over and over again, like take one paragraph and read it sentence by sentence, and just slowly do that until I feel like I've internalized that sentence, not in the sense of its transformative nature, but internalized it so I'm hanging on to the thought and its meaning behind that. In 11.4, in this part 1 of the workbook, review 3, 11.4 sentences, its usefulness is limitless to you, and it's meant to serve you in all ways, all times and places, whenever you need help of any kind. Well,
That's a pretty strong statement, isn't it?
that's the point I was going to make. As if you're familiar at all with sentences and grammar and the logical structures of it, the words he's using in there is very strong words. All and any, all, and that's just it's another repeat of this first principle of miracles, that there's no order of difficulty in miracles. But he's saying that this will apply to everything in your life.
Right.
Right? So I think that there's this somewhat interesting parallel between trying to catch all of what's on the page, that when you do that in your study, like let me not leave something out,
Right.
that's exactly what you're supposed to do with the lessons themselves, is begin to learn that the goal is to apply it everywhere
Right.
in your life, to all things and anything. So I think that the reading itself helps develop the attitude of that, the kind of reading that's inclusive in the sense that it catches everything in a paragraph, begins to train the mind to understand that this applies to everything.
Share a thought, an idea, a technique that I use that I really like. And that is when I'm reading along in the Course and something is like, I understand what it means, but it's not going in much. What I do is I take it and I put it in other words. And a phrase that comes to mind as being really simple and instructive in that one is, you need but ask. So I read this, you need but ask. I take that and say, what's another way of saying that? I only need to ask. Or the only thing I need to do is ask.
And then it goes into...
And then it means something to me. You need but ask is not quite the English that goes into my heart.
So you paraphrase it.
I paraphrase it. Yeah, that's it. I thought I would take an example from the text and show how this one might work too. This is just a couple of sentences. I'll just read 2 sentences of it. In this season, Christmas, which celebrates the birth of holiness into this world, join with me who decided for holiness for you. It is our task together to restore the awareness of magnitude to the host whom God appointed for himself. Well, in order to make more sense of that, I might paraphrase it and say, in this season, Christmas, which celebrates the birth of holiness into the world, that's not paraphrased, join with me who decided for holiness for you. That's the part that's like, oh, what does that mean? Well, I know join with me would be Jesus and decided for holiness for you. Let me put it in other words.
Uh-huh.
So just kind of wrestle with it a little bit and think, well, let me join with Jesus because he decided to see my holiness. Or he decided to see the holiness of all my brothers.
Mhm.
So this Christmas, let me join with Jesus in seeing my holiness. Just a couple of different ways of saying that very same thing. I'm not extrapolating out from it here.
Right.
Okay, and then the next sentence is, it is our task together to restore the awareness of magnitude to the host whom God appointed for himself. So what is this? So it's our task together. So in joining with Jesus, I can help to restore the awareness of what? Hugeness, grandeur, encompassing all of creation. I'm looking for other ways of saying magnitude
Mhm.
for myself. The power and the glory. You know, that's terms that the Course uses a lot. To the host. What is this host then? Well, it's clear in this section. The host is me, but I'm the host of God. I've got God in my heart
Right.
here. So the host whom God appointed for himself. So here's another way of saying this. It's my task to join with Jesus so that I can remember my power and glory because God chose to live within me. I must be powerful and glorious.
Mhm.
So by talking in different ways around that very same sentence, I'm not adding to it. I'm just trying to make new connections and put it in my own words.
And then it penetrates you much deeper.
Yeah.
And then it comes in, and then it's usable to you.
Yeah.
Because then you've got ownership to it.
Yeah,
And
right.
You put it into it. And you know what's interesting about that is that that's in a way part of it's somewhat like what I'm talking about is that, well, like I was giving my example, it's similar in this sense, is that what your technique is going to do is not allow you to miss anything because it's just,
Right.
you know, just, well, that doesn't, and then you let it go.
Right.
And you stop and you go, okay, well, let me see if I can use that in a different way, make sense of that and
Yeah.
put in words. So
Yeah.
then you're not missing anything, you're not leaving stuff out.
Right.
You're missing what's there.
Right, and it isn't that I didn't understand what it said, but the understanding was so superficial until I began to speak the sentence in my own words.
Yeah. Well, then it's yours.
And then it's mine.
Yeah.
And it really, it has an emotional resonance where it didn't before.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, maybe that's a lesson for today.
Maybe that's
Oh.
that's enough. Yeah. I mean.
Okay.
All right. Thanks.
The road to heaven is a long one, and rough the road, the way unknown. But my companion is a strong one. I need not walk this way alone.